Well, hello there everybody, and welcome back to yet another part of my Dixie campaign as the Confederates. We are now actually doing a counterattack, or counterattacking the Union counterattack on Cemetery Hill. We're going to go ahead here and fight, guys. Now, this is primarily going to be a defensive conflict, as far as I can tell. We should also try to go for this part up here, etc., but there's a lot of guys coming for us, and as you can see, since the enemy has this Culp's Hill position, which we weren't able to take last turn, we've got a lot in store for us. I'm going to go ahead and actually switch over to Shell Shot for both of these artillery units. As soon as McDougal makes it to the bottom of this hill here, I'm going to be moving Thomas up to intercept. Actually, we'll move Thomas up a little bit to intercept as is, and I'll go ahead and get 2nd Corps over here where they belong. Let's take a look at the rest of these artillery pieces. I want to probably move one over here. Looks like we've got Brooke here, we've got Graham ready to fire, although they don't seem to be firing. Let's go ahead and see if... There we go. It looks like they're actually loading up. Brooke doesn't seem to be loading up at all, so we'll move him up a little bit. Let's see if Thomas can start firing at McDougal. We have to keep in mind that we've got a lot of enemy troops over here coming and attacking this position, so we really should try to stop them as soon as possible. I'll actually try to switch over to Shell Shot, or Canister Shot, excuse me, and it looks like Thomas has begun. Oh, awesome, there we go. We've got a ton of actual artillery rounds coming in, cannon, musket balls, everything is coming in to crash into McDougal, and hopefully we can actually have him retreat. Let's move the Louisiana Tigers up a little bit. We'll have them fire. We'll also have Wyatt's brigade, or excuse me, Iverson's brigade fire over here too on McDougal. Let's bring Wyatt over here. Alright, so we've already got some enemies trying to take this position. We'll move Wyatt over here, switch to Canister Shot. We'll move Ward up. We've got a lot of different guys we've got to worry about here. Now, what I am going to do is move Wilcox into this position. We'll move Mahone into this position to really just support this area, this central area here. I want to take a look. They just said that, there we go, Benning, Anderson, and the Texas Brigade. Now, I'm not familiar with the Texas Brigade, I'll be honest with you, so I'm going to go ahead and move these guys over here. I'll move Anderson over up here as well, and I'll move the Texas Brigade over here too. And slowly, we'll start building up our positions over here. Now, first things first, I want to start moving a bunch of infantry up to counteract this attack here by the Union. We're actually going to run with Daniel. Just to get into position quickly. And as you can see, our men are still firing off the Canister Shot, so that's great. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get Ward up here to start firing some Canister Shot too. But let's go ahead and start shooting. Actually, let's bring Wilcox down here to counter these guys. Same with Doles. Doles has to deal with quite a large brigade, Stanner's brigade. I'm a little concerned about that, so I'm going to move O'Neill up to support and Lane up to support too. And they should be able to put a pretty devastating amount of fire on the enemy here. Move Reese up into position here, and Grandy, we'll move him into position here. Let's get Wingfield. Now this is where I could really use the help of my artillery units, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to Canister Shot and try to move Wingfield up into position without being targeted. Alright, here we go. Thomas is still fighting, and in fact even Scales is in the fight, but he hasn't really been firing much. I want to go ahead and move Brooke up a little bit more, see if we can't get a nice volley on Gilsa or McDougal even. Alright, it looks like we've got some reinforcements here in the north, guys. We're going to go ahead. And in fact, I totally did miss this, but Stonewall Brigade, all of these brigades are dealing with Coster up here on top of the hill. We want to make it on top of that hill, so let's run for it, actually. We're going to run with Stonewall, we'll run with Jones, and we want to take this position. I'm glad I just spotted it. I hope it's not too late to take. I don't think it is, though. Alright, Nickel, stop, halt. We're going to have Nickel start opening up already. I don't like that Smith's broken through here, but not really much we can do. And look at this, we've got Lockwood actually trying to take the Evergreen Cemetery position. I'm going to go ahead and countercharge with Daniel here, since they're already in bloody combat, and it looks like the Union is going for a full charge. You've got Green charging, Ruger charging. Daniel is currently in combat with the rest of these guys. We're going to go ahead and have Ramser charge too, and try to counteract. This is just a ridiculous charge by the Union. I'm surprised they even are going for this, but they're going to probably do fairly well. They do have some supporting infantry here, and I don't like that. Alright, there we go. At least you've got Benner's Hill here. We're going to go ahead and move these brigades on top of the hill so we can start firing down on the enemy, basically flanking the enemy entirely. Alright, here we go. Jones, fire on Krishnowski. Stonewall's already firing. He knows what to do. Stonewall always knows what to do. Let's take a look down here. Let's see what's going on with our victory position. Alright, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. It looks like we are losing that position. We really do want to do everything we can to hold it, so we're going to move Benning over here. Union has secured the Cemetery Hill position, which is annoying to say the least, because I don't feel like they should have it. I just don't feel they've done enough to take it. Go ahead and just keep Iverson in place, I guess, and we'll actually halt Ramsar here. And hopefully he can provide some nice volley fire here to force the enemy back. But that's weird. It is. I didn't expect this to be that hard. Let's go ahead and move Benning here into position. Gibbon's division of the Union's 2nd Corps is approaching. Well, that's just wonderful. Let's see what we can do over here. We can actually move these guys to start dealing with the Union. I'll go ahead and run with Gordon. We should have all of these guys running. Now, usually I like to be very calm in the battle. I like to move forward slowly so that our men don't lose condition, but in this case, I think we can go ahead and be crazy. Move Mahone up. And we'll get the Texas Brigade over here. Alright, Benning is on the way, guys. Now, this is our last hope, I believe. Well, not our last hope, but certainly one of many hopes of us to take back that position. And at least we're crushing Paul and Smith here. And I think you guys know just as well as I do, that's primarily because we've basically got these guys in a crossfire, a massive crossfire from the top of the hill, from the west, just everybody shooting at this brigade, which is pretty awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and continue the assault. We're not going to stop here. Start moving down with Stewart, Stonewall, all of these guys to take the Culp's Hill position. And I also want to go ahead and retake, of course, this position right here. To have Benning possibly halt right about there. I think that's good enough. So can we fire on the Iron Brigade? I can't believe the Iron Brigade still has a few hundred men. It's pretty amazing, considering the amount of damage we've done to these guys in our campaign. Alright, there we go. Paul is actually maybe retreating versus Ramsar. I think so. We'll move Anderson up. He's moving very slowly for a run. Alright, come on. Iverson, move forward. Scales, move forward. Daniel. We're just going to keep moving forward. We're not even attacking. We're not even charging, I should say. We're just moving these brigades forward. To sort of force the enemy into some sort of decision, really. Alright, here we go. Mahone. Beautiful. I'm going to get the Texas Brigade in a better position here. And let's bring Doles. So we are forcing the position here on this hill. On the cemetery ridge position. Here we go. Sorry, Evergreen Cemetery position. See, it's very hard to do commentary and at the same time fight a battle against the Union. Hope you guys realize how difficult this can be. We're going to go ahead and move forward here. Just coming up with stuff to say. That's why you should always support this series. Make sure to leave your comments down below, etc. Share with your friends. It really does help. This is not easy. Let's go ahead and, okay, Texas Brigade, why are you running away? Fire on Standard, damn it. We'll have Wilcox go ahead and fire on Cutler as well as these sort of artillery positions. I'm really tempted, actually, to charge with Wilcox right now against these guys right here, just to break them up a bit, but I'm not sure if that would be the smartest decision, so I'm not going to do it. If it's not 100% a wise decision, and I'm not certain of it, I won't do it. Now look at this, we've got Scales, everybody's pulling back. Where are you fucking cowards going? We've got cowards in our army. Move forward. Okay, there we go, that's better. So we're going to go ahead and actually halt with Benning, and hopefully he can counter Green here. Alright, we've finally pushed these men down. We're going to go ahead and move forward. So we just basically trapped Smith, Von Gilsa, Paul, etc. We trapped all of these guys. And in fact, all of these guys, even though they're on top of Culp's Hill here, I don't think they're in a good position at all. We're firing at them from all directions. So even though they might have a nice defensive bonus, I'm not sure if it's going to win them the battle. I certainly hope it doesn't. Get out of the way, men. We need our cannons to fire. Canister shot. There we go. Let's get Graham up. Okay, the enemy is still pushing with Green. That's why I really want to get these cannons into position to start firing at Green. Wouldn't even mind some shell shots, to be honest with you, but I prefer canister, so let's see if these guys can finally fire, if they're in a position to fire anyway. And we'll start opening up on the enemy here. Actually halt at the bottom of the hill. Avery, keep firing, buddy. And let's bring Rain down here. I don't know what he's doing all the way up there, but it's a bit weird. Alright, we've got a pretty decent defensive line. I mean, all we're really trying to do is stop a Union counterattack. We could also attempt, and this is a maybe, of course, to take this position at 4,500 here, but I'm not sure if that's even possible. Let's move these guys up, these cannons up. We'll also move the First Corps up here. Alright, not bad at all. Might not be a bad idea to move O'Neill into position up here. And maybe move some of these cannons down here. And it looks like we are definitely firing that canister shot from Morin's cannon, which is awesome. I'd like to get even more canister shot coming down on the enemy here. Alright, look at this. Let's charge with Stonewall Brigade up the hill, guys. We are going for a full charge with Stewart, with Stonewall Brigade, with Jones Brigade. We're going for everything here. Everybody's charging on the right flank. And I'm hoping that this is going to win us the battle. It could, of course, be a total and utter mess, but I'm hoping it's going to work out for us. So we are moving up forward here. We're moving up here. I'm about to say moving up forward. And look at that. It looks great. Jones is going in. Brown is going in. Nickel. They are crushing Kershanowski, Smith, all of these guys. I want to get Thomas into position because I want to be attacking with Thomas. And I want Anderson firing at Green here because he looks like he's in position to possibly, eventually, overrun this Evergreen Cemetery area. So let's go ahead and open up. I don't know why Anderson is taking so long to fire here. Okay, no Stonewall this way, Stonewall. Alright, so we are pushing Kershanowski back, guys. Wow. I'm actually going to halt with Stonewall Brigade here, and I'm just going to move him forward. We'll do the same with Thomas. Same with Anderson, even. Union 5th Corps has arrived to reinforce. Alright, we have to be careful. Although now we are finally firing at Green, and we may even be in the process of taking this position on top of the hill. We've at least made a pretty good charge in an attempt to take it, and in effect, we've scared the hell out of all these Union troops. You can see they're all running down the hill. There's a lot of Union dead on top of the hill. It's not looking good for our enemies here, to be honest with you. But I don't want to jinx myself. Plenty has gone wrong in similar positions, similar battles, so I want to be very careful here. Alright, there we go. Anderson is moving up now. Halt Anderson right here. And basically right now, as you guys can see, I'm not continuing the charge. I just want a concentric ring of fire to rain down hell on the enemy here and eventually just move into this position without really much difficulty whatsoever, without having to force our way up there. Once we actually have this many units in reserve, this many men firing at the enemy in quick succession, things are looking a lot better for us, I will admit. And as you can see, it looks like we are actually taking the Culp's Hill position already. You guys can see it's turning gray. We are winning at Culp's Hill. We just want to move these men on top of the hill so they get a nice firing bonus down the hill. Looks like Anderson Brigade doesn't have a stomach for the fight. But neither does the enemy's Green Brigade, so who cares? Who cares? I actually want to really charge with Ramsar here, see if we can catch these guys, but we don't really have to. Let's just be safe, hold our positions. We're killing a ton of enemy troops. You guys can see the amount of Union dead on the field is ridiculous right now. So hopefully that's sufficient. We still have this area of 4,500. And as you can see over here by the stone wall, we have lost a lot of men. So is the enemy. This has been a point of contention. Although, luckily, I'm happy that we had the enemy focused on this area because we're not really interested in this area. Now, more Yankee reinforcements arrived. The enemy has been getting reinforcements out the wazoo, I will admit. Just ridiculous amounts of reinforcements. It seems a bit absurd, a bit unfair, but that's just the way the war is. War is not fair, guys. You guys should know this. Okay, here we go. We're going to move forward with Iverson, Anderson, Texas Brigade. All of these guys are just going to move forward. Basically, our more powerful brigades are just going to go ahead and start moving forward, putting some pressure, or even more pressure than the enemy is already under. All right. More Yankee reinforcements. I'm so pissed by that. There's so many Yankee reinforcements arriving right now. Let's have Gordon charge, actually. So there we go. Gordon, actually, as soon as I hit the charge button on Gordon, cross pulled back, which I think is pretty awesome. Use some canister. Come on. Canister. And we'll move Lane over here to defend this area against the Gibraltar Brigade. Wow, elements of the Federal 3rd Corps are approaching from the south. It looks like the entire Army of the Potomac is on the field. So we are literally facing the whole Union Army, guys. Yes, the entire Union Army. Now what we have to do is just hold our positions. We're not going to be moving forward for any more attacks by any means. I want to go ahead and fill up these gaps because I don't want to have to deal with them later. But more importantly, I want to also be able to hold the victory positions we already have against the massive army of Union reinforcements that are on the way. It's just getting ridiculous here. Let's go ahead. Can Riley fire? Fire down on Smith, dude. Come on, Riley. You're on top of a hill, you moron. Come on, fire. I don't know why these guys can't shoot. Come on. Alright, battle delayed. It looks like are they getting in position? No, they're not. And I don't understand this. I mean, they're definitely in position to fire. They're firing downhill. We'll see if this is better, but it's really irritating. Okay, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Alright, there we go. It looks like they're getting ready. They're getting ready, and there we go. Yes! Some canister shot down the hill is always a good thing. Unless it's coming down the hill at us, of course. Alright, there we go, guys. Look at all the Union dead on the field. I mean, the amount of, I guess, like, battlefield medics that are going to need to come here, the amount of surgeons, the amount of legs that are going to have to be cut off after this battle is pretty devastating. We have absolutely crushed the first part of the Union Army, the initial part, obviously. Now we're dealing with reinforcements. Willard is one of the reinforcements, Burbank, etc. These guys aren't easy to fight, but we're going to do everything we can to win the battle. And right now, I think the odds are pretty well, are doing pretty well in our favor, I should say. All right, let's move the Texas Brigade forward. I'm just going to keep putting pressure on the enemy. I've noticed in battles past, and I'm sure you guys have too, when we stop putting pressure on the enemy, when we decide to form a purely defensive ring, 9 times out of 10, the enemy regains their strength, comes at us with a charge, and manages to take our position. So we don't want that to happen again. Stewart over here, I want him to take out these cannon units, so we'll go ahead and have him charge. And yes, this is a risky charge by Stewart, but as long as he's just dealing with the cannon units here, I think we'll be fine. We'll have him halt. There we go. Jones can come up now. We'll fire on McDougal. Really more worried about their infantry units than I am about their artillery units. The Texas Brigade! Fire on Bucktail. Fire on Bucktail, boys! Oh man, Wilson is firing a nice shot there. Alright, here we go. The Texas Brigade. Or not. Or not. What is going on with you guys? What did you shoot? What's going on? There we go. There we go. Come on, fire. Let's see. Yes, there we go. And Bucktail's already being absolutely annihilated. It looks like the enemy is getting a lot of men over here. Willard, Weed, a lot of different men to go ahead and force a charge up Culp's Hill here. So we're going to go ahead and try to get into position with as many defenders as possible. Alright, let's fire on Weed. I don't like shooting at Weed, but in this case we have to. Before he smoke it. Alright, let's take a look over here. And Posey's being forced back. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let's see if we can get over to Shell Shot and start firing at Gibraltar Brigade. What else can we do? Bring Wright over here. I don't know what Wright's doing. Okay, there we go. So we're still firing some canister shot down there at the enemy. And look at that. Look at the amount of men that are going down. They're going to retreat. Smythe's Brigade's going to retreat. I don't blame them. And it looks like Posey managed to push Gibraltar Brigade back. That's all we could ask from him, I should say. Now we have to ask for him to hold Harrow back, because Harrow could certainly push through. Probably one of my favorite Union generals. Okay, there we go. A lot of things to worry about here. Stonewall is actually retreating. I want to make sure we can get Carpenter to... No. Sorry. Halt. Make sure we get Carpenter to go ahead and fire some canister shot if he's able. And let's just get these guys into position. Oh, man. Alright, Lane. Brady and Wingfield up here. More Yankee reinforcements. Unbelievable. I mean, the amount of reinforcements that the Federals are getting right now, it really is unfair. But we're holding them back. I mean, that's what counts, right? I swear, if ammunition was an issue in this game, we would be crushed. I know that was actually being talked about before the game was released, that ammunition might be a part, sort of like Civil War Generals 2, for those of you that have played Civil War games in the past. Their ammunition was a major part of the game, but in this game they decided to keep it out, and I'm glad they did, because for battles like this, I don't see how you would be able to win. There's just, the enemy keeps coming at us. We are holding them back, that's a plus, but, you know, at the cost of so many rounds of ammunition like this. The 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters. Should bring the Texas Brigade over here to flank the enemy. As you guys can see, we've actually got an uphill advantage, but unfortunately, we're going to have to get off the hill to fire. So I'll go ahead and shoot at Rugg. See if we can hit them. Maybe just force the artillery back, if anything. Okay, we forced the artillery back. Unfortunately, the Texas Brigade doesn't seem to be in the best condition. Kind of weird. I expected them to be in awesome condition, but they're not. Let's halt. Halt. Burbank's really trying to push up that hill. We'll get Ramser back here to support this area. I'd love to move the Texas Brigade down. I know they're getting fired on their flanks. I understand that. I'm sure you guys are like screaming like Agrippa. They're being fired at on their flanks. I know that, but it doesn't matter because I think that right now, if we can start flanking the enemy here, Smith's Brigade, we can crush this entire attack. So even if we lose a few men in that attempt, oh well. I mean, this is the verge of the war is resting on this battle. Everything is resting on this battle, so we need to win. Here we go. The Texas Brigade is firing away. They've got a nice uphill advantage there. Unfortunately, they are on their very last toes of morale. They're not exactly the highest in morale right now for this battle. Alright, Benning, you want to charge? Fine. We're going to have Benning charge because he decided that he doesn't want to get into formation. He wants to attack, so why not? Oh boy, we got Posey here. Harrow is trying to push on Posey. I told you guys earlier, I don't know if you guys remember, that Harrow was going to be an issue in this battle. He's always an issue in my battle. Every single one of them. He's always up to his old tricks. Let's move the rest of these guys up. No need to lower the pressure. Gordon up. Doles can also move up here. In fact, we'll move Doles over here into this position because our left flank over here is pretty weak. Latham. Here we go. Some more canister shot for the enemy to chew on. I would like to have Posey stay on this hill to sort of defend it. See what's going on down here. All right, look at that, guys. Look at that. The Texas Brigade has had to pull back, which I'm not surprised by one bit. They put up a pretty good fight there, and they did what they had to, and Benning is still engaged in combat here. Now, he is finally retreating, but he forced the enemy back there, and I consider that a giant victory. You can see over here we have a major advantage on the hill now. The enemy is stuck. They can't get up that hill. There's no way they're taking Culps. We've got Stewart there. We've got supporting brigades of Anderson. We may even want to move Anderson up. And at this point, my only concern, if any, is my western flank over here, my left flank. This could become a problem. And if the enemy tries to force an attack and take this position, they could flank my entire army. But I don't see that happening, to be honest with you. Lane in a position. Come on, Lane. Run. Run. There's no time to sit around and get into formation. There we go. I'm going to get Wingfield over here. Okay, the Texas Brigade is coming back to battle, even without me telling them to. These guys like to fight. Alright, Anderson. We're going to fire down on Fisher. Same with you, Stewart. There we go. Look at all those musket rounds. Just imagine, like, seeing just basically a wood, you know, a nice green, lush wood, and suddenly seeing thousands of little puffs of smoke coming out of it right at your men. Look at that! Oh, the amount of dead is just cruel. We are crushing the enemy right now, but they are still holding their position here with Von Gilsa. Let's see how long that'll last. Whenever I play with Von Gilsa, he runs within a moment's notice. I mean, he's just always running, this guy. So we're going to move Lane up. Fire on Gibraltar Brigade here. And we should do the same with Wingfield if we can. Maybe not. We force them back, that's what matters. Look at that. Latham is already reloading for another canister shot down on the enemy positions. I love it. Absolutely love it. And we still got some shell shot raining down, too. I mean, the enemy has to break through 2 lines of artillery here on the left to make it through. And up here in the north, well, let's be honest. I mean, they have no chance. We're actually being friendly here by not pushing our men forward. I don't see the point, really. You know, all we'll do, we'll get some more kills, of course, but we won't be taking any extra positions. I'd rather keep our men in very good condition than sacrificing a lot of them to damage the enemy units. Learn from my mistakes. Here we go, Latham. Garden. Fire down on Gibraltar. And let's move Daniel up here too. You might as well. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Feeling pretty confident, and you guys know that I am a glass half empty kind of guy, but I don't see how we could lose here. Unless something went terribly, terribly wrong. I mean, just as the Union I think that they've lost enough men to surrender just on that basis alone. We got Weed going for a last charge. Look at this. I actually have some respect for this guy. Going for a final charge up the hill in an attempt to take it. Which I think is kind of funny. Wouldn't it be crazy if this guy actually managed to take this position? Of course he won't. He's now already retreating, but he definitely did some damage to Avery's brigade there. He only got 591 men, so it's not a huge accomplishment, but he got his revenge before being blasted by muskets, by rifles rather. Past the age of muskets, I believe. Although I do believe that some men still had Brown Bess muskets, especially in the Confederate Army. Men that couldn't afford necessarily, right when they joined, proper rifle would have to, of course, use the old muskets. And I mean, obviously, you still needed to ram the bore in. You still needed to place the gunpowder in your rifle. This was not like just a point-and-click reload with a clip type of war. I mean, there was still a lot of reloading being done. Let's go ahead and charge down the hill with Benning, guys. Now, the only reason I'm doing this with Benning and Wilcox is I see we have an advantage. No, Wilcox, this way, this way. See, we have an advantage here coming uphill, so we're going to go ahead and break down on the enemy with Benning. Looks like Wilcox doesn't have stomach for a fight, which is kind of annoying because his condition is fine, and so is his morale. But Benning's going to crash into the enemy, and hopefully he will stop those problems for us. Let's move Lane forward. And why not? We'll move Gordon over here too. Actually, no, we'll keep Gordon where he is. Again, I don't want to do anything unsafe, so we'll halt Wilcox here too. Anderson can move forward. May as well put some pressure on these guys. Let's go ahead and fire on Weed. And this way, we'll just get everybody firing at Weed and just decimating his little battalion there. Look at that. Fall back, Weed, fall back. You can't hold this, man. Pull back. That's what I thought. Alright, so there we go. Stonewall's in a little bit of trouble. Jones over here to deal with Burbank. Alright, we're holding on, guys. We're still holding on. As our artillery is keeping that left flank, you know, basically under wraps. We don't really have to worry about it. We certainly lost more men over here on the left flank. You can see over here at the stone wall, we had a lot of men fall, but I think it's all worth it. Obviously, the difference is pretty significant, and this is the one battle where typically I'm not confident that I'm going to have less casualties than the enemy, but in this one, I will say that it's almost a certainty that we will have less casualties than the enemy army, because we have just annihilated them here. Let's go ahead and get Lane to fire on Gibraltar. Amazed he continues to attack, even though we have Posey here, basically just waiting in case he breaks through. So I do have, like, plans, I guess, contingency plans, in case that area gets taken. Now, all we haven't taken is this area of 4,500 here. Federal reinforcements seem endless. More troops approach from the south. The enemy is getting so many reinforcements, but I don't know if it's going to matter. As long as we can hold these guys back, they can throw everything they have at us, and we will hold our positions. Which I love. I love this army right now. They're doing a great job. Great job. If I could get on the field here, the virtual field as it were, and give them a pep talk, tell them how well they did, I would. Because they've absolutely held back the entire Union Army. The entire Union Army. I mean, we have held them back so far. And we only need to really hold them back for a little longer before we can actually win the battle. So we want to move Perrin up, we want to move Mahone up. You see Vincent's really making a push there. Let's fire Gordon. Yes! Love getting a nice volley right into a charging unit. And we don't want them to make the final push and succeed. And there we go. It looks like Vincent, is he pulling back? Or just getting into formation? Doing something. Oh yes, he's pulling back. He is pulling back. Awesome. Make sure, we'll actually bring Lewis up here. Try to put some more shell shot onto the enemy. I don't think we're close enough for canister shot, so I will make do with shell shot. What are you doing, Latham? Okay, well, Latham's brigade, they just decided to go and drink moonshine while everyone else was fighting, so nothing we can do about that. Hopefully we can hold Vincent back. Right now, Vincent is actually a bit of a problem. He's forced Daniel back, Dole's back, and Mahone. And these are major brigades here, so we want to force Vincent back. We do not want him taking our main position. We're going to go ahead and move Anderson over here, just in case, just in case. I don't think we're in that much of trouble, but I want to be certain. And we'll actually go ahead and charge with Benning, because I want to confuse the enemy. Charge with Gordon. No, we can't charge with Gordon. Well, we're charging into their right flank with Benning. This should at least bring enough confusion to let us retake this position, or not retake this position, but reestablish our defenses over here. And look at all those dead Confederates. We lost a lot of men over here in this field area. And now we just need to be careful. More shell shot for Gibraltar. Alright, Doles. Oh boy. Alright, so there we go. Cross is trying to make a charge too. The enemy's desperate now. They are desperate. They obviously over here on the Culp's Hill position, they've got nothing left. But they could still try to push the center before the battle ends. Look at that. Look at that. I'm sure nothing is being challenged. Nope. We're just keeping a huge mass of men there. So I think we're good. I think we are good. So many reinforcements by the enemy. Let's go ahead and charge with the Texas Brigade. Again, just trying to keep the enemy occupied. I know the Texas Brigade has very low morale and condition right now, but they did manage to make Brooke run. But and they're making Ruger run, and possibly even Vincent. So that just goes to show you, just because a brigade has very low morale and condition, or very low condition in this case, doesn't mean they can't carry out a successful charge if the enemy is sufficiently damaged. Look at that, guys. Wow. I'm actually surprised this is only a minor victory, considering the amount of enemies we killed. Killed 10,162 Union men. We lost 7,237, a difference of nearly 3,000 men. The enemy really shed a lot of blood this battle. We also kept these 4 positions, and the enemy only holds Cemetery Ridge. We'll go ahead and take a look here at the statistics. We outshine the enemy in every aspect. You guys can see the first 6 brigades for highest kills are ours, and Mahone's brigade, or excuse me, Wilcox brigade, sorry, has killed 1,070 men. I think that is the most I have ever killed with one brigade in a battle, which is pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and continue here and see what we have next. Okay. General, you managed to lead the Army of Northern Virginia to a marginal victory. However, you have not succeeded in the initial objective of the campaign to win a decisive victory and dictate our peace terms to the Yankees. We need to improve the command of our army and increase its performance. Well, there we go, guys. We did get a marginal victory versus balanced AI, apparently, in the Battle of Gettysburg as the Confederacy. I want to thank everybody for supporting this series. I had a lot of fun doing it. I think that's not a terrible outcome at all. The casualties in the end were 19,840 for the Union, 19,573 for us. In my opinion, after a victory at Gettysburg, even a minor victory, the Confederates would, of course, either be able to dictate their terms of keeping their states' rights, or possibly even forcing the Union to surrender. Either way, this would have drawn the conflict out for many, many more years, or at least a few more years, until a conclusion was able to be reached. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I did my best. Sometimes that's not always perfect. So we can take a quick look here. Our best brigade was Daniel's brigade, 1,139 men killed, and then Pettigrew, of course. James Pettigrew is just great. Unfortunately, we lost Baxter, Paul, Schmiffelnig, and Cutler. Well, we destroyed them, actually. These are enemy brigades. We absolutely annihilated these guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I want to give a huge thanks to Nick Tomatis, Darth, for not only making this game, but putting this, pinning this on the forums up on top, the Dixie campaign. I really appreciate it, and keep up the great work. Have an awesome day, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to comment.